Yeah, this is what the fishing industry means to Hervey Bay. This ball here tonight, there's over 400 people here tonight, and you know, the fishing industry means so much to Hervey Bay, and yet we're looking at decimating this whole industry if we go with the quota system that they're talking about. They are just reducing those quotas down to about half the size, and it's going to mean a loss of a lot of jobs in this area, and it's just ridiculous what's happening. But we must look after our fishing industry here, and as you see that the industry around here needs to continue. And why do we import 75% of our fish products into this country?
My name's Kev Greenhalgh. I've been a commercial fisherman in Maryborough, Hervey Bay for 43 years. I've never seen the industry in such a bloody mess as it is today, thanks to the Labor government. Every time we get a Labor government in, we get more regulations, and the regulations has got to the degree now that it's just unworkable. It's not viable for fishermen to continue to work under these conditions. They got VMSs on the boat that give you a position or give them a position wherever you are, and straight away, as soon as they put the VMSs on our boats, that cost me another $1,200 a year.
They pick the professional fishermen off, then they'll come after the recreational fishermen. And believe you me, they'll be saying that the dolphins need protecting, the turtles, the dugongs and all the rest of it, and you will not be able to go and fish those areas. You'll be only able to travel at about 5 to 10 k's in that area. So we've really got to get back to a bit of common sense in this whole thing.
My licences now is $4,800 a year, and the fish prices to the fishermen just haven't gone up any. We can't absorb that. It's just unworkable. Then you've got the maritime safety people chasing you around, saying you've got to have all these new gear on the boat, life rings, a first aid kit that by law, there's stuff in that first aid kit that I can't give by law. Right? If somebody, it's got to be administrated by a doctor. It's regulation that's gone out of control.
One of those things is that the Queensland State Labor government wants to reduce the fishing quotas for the fishermen around here, and I personally believe that we want a long-term, sustainable, profitable fishing industry for the families of Hervey Bay and for their children. So we've got to make sure that we stand up to the state Labor government by allowing the fishermen to keep their quotas, and also just pointing out that Australia's a big country. There's over 60,000 kilometres of coastline, and you have to ask why we import 75% of our fish, when many of those fish would come from areas that are more than likely probably overfished, while here in Australia with only 25 million people, we've got a lot of areas that are being underfished.
But it's not about fish numbers. We're catching more barramundi now than we've ever caught. We're catching more king salmon than we've ever caught. So it's not about fish numbers, it's about votes. The trouble is with the Labor government, they'll do anything for a vote. It's people on the Facebook and on the internet that are complaining all the time, and the government think, oh, there's a few votes here, we'll get rid of the fishing industry and then we'll get more votes. The Labor government is in trouble. And they'll do anything for a vote. Well, I tell you what, they'll never get my vote while God breathes breath into me.
And fishing's a primary industry. It's an important agricultural industry, and if we lose those fishermen, then it's not just those fishermen's families who go without. It'll be all the people that rely on those fishermen for their income. So that's the small businessmen, the restaurants, the mechanics, the schools and everything. So that'll be a flow-on effect, and that'll be devastating for the people of Hervey Bay. And so I believe the role of governments is to provide essential services, and I think for the last 30 years we've seen the sale of infrastructure that's provided those essential services, and government have walked away from their responsibility, and instead they've marched on into the family home, the classroom and the bedroom, and they're telling people how to live their lives, parents how to raise their children, and businesses how to run their business.